What's going on, everybody? I hope you're all having a wonderful day today. For those of you that are new here, my name is Ty, and today in this video, we're going to be talking about the breaking news that just dropped regarding the Jurassic World sequel that we're apparently getting next year. Listen, I don't want to waste any time. I want to get right into this article that just dropped from The Hollywood Reporter, which I have on my computer here, and wow, this just completely came out of left field. I can't even believe this right now. I'm a big fan of the Jurassic Park World series as a whole, and I kind of want to talk about if this is a good idea, if it's a bad idea, go over the information that we got, and also give my opinion on, like I said, is this really the right direction that Universal should be taking with this franchise? Let's just take a look at this right now. And guys, before we get into looking at this article, if you guys enjoy this video, it would mean the world to me if you could drop a like, and also if you want to stick around to the channel, we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We're getting closer and closer every day. If you could drop a subscription, that would mean the world to me. Alright, so there were multiple reliable sources reporting on this news story. I just went with The Hollywood Reporter because I just like the way that their website looks. So let's get right into things here. The title reads, "New Jurassic World movie in the works with David Coep writing." Okay. Universal is said to be moving fast with the script from Coep, who penned Steven Spielberg's original Jurassic Park and its 1997 sequel. So, I guess that we're getting the script from the guy that wrote the original Jurassic Park and the second movie. I know some people don't like the second movie. I honestly do enjoy it. I think it's good enough, considering how amazing that first movie is. This article is honestly kind of short, but the thing is, I just want to go over two important pieces of information. First of all, right here, the studio is deep into development of an all-new Jurassic World movie and has David Coep, like we saw, who wrote, the first Jurassic Park movie and the second one. But the thing that really shocked me, okay, is right here, this little thing between this ad and also these two stories. I don't know why it's like here, because it's like the most important thing. The project, which has been flying under the radar, which honestly is pretty crazy that we haven't gotten any information about this, is far enough along, and the script is in a well-liked shape that the studio is whispering of a possible 2025 release date next year. That's insane. I mean, obviously, I know it's early 2024, so that still could be like 2 years away, because think about it. It's January 2024. There's a chance this movie could come out like December 2025, and like I said, it sounds like next year, but that's basically 2 years away, which does make sense for a movie's production. Then down here, it just starts to get into some like opinionated stuff, but there isn't a director on board, and also it's going to relaunch a new series, a new Jurassic era, which I think is very important for this franchise to go, like when it comes to the direction. See, the big question here that everyone's going to be asking is whether or not, straight up, this is a good or bad idea. I think it's as simple as that. The thing is, if you're Universal, this is a great idea. Jurassic World Dominion, for as bad as the reviews were, cracked $1 billion. Even if it would cost a lot to make, doesn't matter. $1 billion's gonna be profitable unless you're like an Avatar movie. So for them, yeah, it's great. But of course, we've got to talk about the fact that the quality of these films as of recently has not been that good. Okay, like I said, I'm a fan of the Jurassic Park series, the Jurassic World series altogether. When I grew up, dinosaurs were like one of my favorite things, and obviously as I got older, I still enjoyed these films as they were coming out when I was a teenager. The first Jurassic Park movie, absolute masterpiece, amazing. The second Jurassic Park film, I still think is pretty good. The third one, just to go over my opinions quick, the third one I think is pretty underrated. Then moving on to this new series, which obviously is more relevant and kind of impacts the future of this fourth sequel, Jurassic World, I actually think is a pretty good movie. I know some people might not like it. I feel like the other two sequels kind of clouded their judgment on that first movie, but Jurassic World, the first one, I think is actually a really great movie. Believe it or not, back when I was like, 13, that was like my most anticipated movie of all time. No Way Home was definitely the most anticipated movie of all time for me, but before that, Jurassic World was. Then we move on to Fallen Kingdom, which I think is just like the worst one out of all 6, and I think it's a really bad film. And Dominion is maybe slightly better than that. I know that that movie also kind of sucks. I'm just going to be real here. But again, it cracked $1 billion, and Universal sees that, and they like that. There was big questions, huge questions after Dominion came out, and the reviews were terrible about whether or not that's it. The Jurassic World franchise is going to be extinct. And I guess now we've got our answer. Universal just saw money, and they were like, great. But the thing is, do I, as someone that, believe it or not, isn't going to be profiting off of this franchise, do I think, as a fan, is this a good idea? There's some things that I do like in this, and there's some things that I don't like. Some things that I do like is that this is being fast-tracked. Now I know people might say, oh, but isn't the production being rushed? It says that this movie's actually been, flying under the radar, and it's been secretly in production, deep in production, for a while. So that makes me feel good that, maybe they actually have a good script. And the thing is, speaking of the script, it's being written by, what's this guy's name while I have it here? David Coep, who honestly I'm not going to act like I'm super familiar with, but he worked on the first and second Jurassic Parks. And again, I know some people say that the second Jurassic Park isn't as good. Fine. But it's going to follow up a masterpiece, so obviously there's a chance that it's not going to be as good as that first movie, which is a classic. And then, moving on from there, some things that do scare me. The past two movies were just not good. I get it. We'll probably have a new director in here. That's also going to be a huge thing. But I just don't know, because I feel like the script also has been a problem for those past two movies as well. But I don't know if Colin Trevorrow and also the other guy who directed Fallen Kingdom were really the right choice for this franchise as a whole. But then another thing, something that does excite me. Apparently, this is a new Jurassic era, meaning that we're getting new characters, new story, whatever. The thing is, though, it's just tough for me, because the way I look at this new Jurassic Park era, the Jurassic World films, is that the first movie was great, then the next two were bad. What does that remind me of? Literally the Star Wars sequels that were coming out basically at the same time. The first one, The Force Awakens, in my opinion at least, but I feel like objectively this is sort of right, is good. Then the next two are bad. And that basically ruined the Star Wars franchise. And just, all the fans were in disarray, whatever. That's kind of what Jurassic World, that franchise as a whole, kind of reminds me of. That first one was good, the next two were bad. The only difference is, with Star Wars, people still talk about Rise of Skywalker 4 years later and The Last Jedi. Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, and Dominion, no one talks about those movies. They were so bad, and even if they were on the same level as the Star Wars ones, that they're just irrelevant. It's, at least if you're bad enough to still be talked about, it's like, okay, there's something in there, but no, these movies were forgotten about. That's almost embarrassing for Universal in a way, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, do I think this is a good idea? I'm going to be honest with you. When I first saw this tweet, I was super hyped, because obviously, as someone that is a fan of this franchise, I'm happy to see that it's going to be, coming out potentially next year, even if it's like 2 years away, like I was saying, whatever. But man, I'm going to be honest with you. Call me crazy. I think this is the right way to go. Now listen, I know if this was the fourth Jurassic World, if we get information that Chris Pratt's returning, Bryce Dallas Howard's returning, even though I do kind of like those characters, I would hate that. And I'd be like, oh, this is stupid. Dominion had such a great premise. They couldn't even execute on the premise of dinosaurs being loose everywhere. They're going to fumble the fourth one too. But if we get new characters, a talented director with proven movies already, you know what I mean? I think that we could really have something here. If we get casting of some, actors that, maybe on the rise or just at least can bring something to the table and are interesting. Not that Chris Pratt isn't. I really like Chris Pratt, but I do feel like he's a bit generic, just in the sense that I feel like he doesn't have that unique thing about him, besides, his comedy maybe. But if we really get someone unique in here, a unique director, and again, we already have that writer kind of down pat, if they have the right idea, they want to do something that actually could be executed well, I can see this going the right way for them. And the thing is, I know I'm jumping way ahead here, but if they want to turn this into a trilogy, which I'm assuming they're going to want to do, I don't know why they just make one single standalone film, please plan the trilogy out. That's the most important thing you could do. And again, I know that, we're jumping ahead here, but I feel like that's what the Star Wars sequels suffered from, and also the Jurassic World sequel suffered from. There just wasn't a set plan. They kind of just made one movie, jumped onto the next and said, what can we do with this one? No, have a plan so you know roughly what you're trying to do, what overarching story you're trying to tell. If this first movie is great, that's amazing. But if they announce a second one and we know that there isn't a plan, I don't know if this is going to go over well. So, with this next movie, have a talented director come in. Have some actual unique actors that again you can really feel like can bring something to the table. It's not just like an A-list star where you're roll your eyes and you're like, oh, they're just trying to have a big name in here. No, give us some young talent. Give us someone on the rise. Also, like I said, if you're gonna set something up here like a trilogy, make it actually set up properly. Have a plan. And I don't know. So overall, I am positive on this. I know a lot of people are going to roll their eyes, and like I said, they're going to think this is stupid, but I'm on board. See, the thing is, if they could just nail the story, I have a feeling that this could be a really great film. This is the only franchise really doing things with like dinosaurs right now, and that's kind of why I want to keep this franchise going as well. I feel like there isn't going to be a new dinosaur franchise that's really going to evolve, but there's so many cool things you could do with dinosaurs. Make this next movie scary, maybe. Make it this, that, whatever. Just give us a good story, please, for the love of God. I pray this is a good movie. But yeah, I am kind of on the positive side. I feel like overall they're confident with this movie, which is why they're trying to fast track it potentially. And yeah, I am kind of excited. I'm cautiously optimistic, but it all depends on, again, what director we get, especially because, you know, going into the film, that'll really tell us where we're kind of headed, what vibe we're getting, and yeah, overall, I am pretty excited though. But yeah, guys, that's gonna just about do it for this video. Let me know down below in the comments, what do you think? Is this a good idea? Is it a terrible idea? Don't get me wrong, if you think that it's a terrible idea that they're making a new Jurassic World film, I won't blame you in the slightest, because I get it. Those past two were really bad, but yeah, I don't know. Money talks, though, at the end of the day. Universal said, this past movie made $1 billion. Yeah, we're making another one. And honestly, I can't blame them, but at least make it a good movie, please. Give us, the fans, something, you know, good to actually watch, okay? That's about all I could say for today, guys. Thank you for watching this video. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.